Well, hello, dudes. It's time for me to read another story. So, first we're going to see if you can find your name. So here are the names from the oldest to the youngest. Winnie, Sterling, James, Roman, and Cleo. Okay, for you guys, let's see if you know some of these words. I'll mess them up, and it's not. This is not Halloween, yes. Me. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a sentence. Come with me to hear the story. And Mom and Dad are your best friends. She, Cleo is a she. Dad is not a she. Dad is a he, H-E. I and Jude. No, I am not you. Mom and Dad. The is the word that we see the most in our books. Is a word that is in many books. And it is going to be a fun book we read today. All right, let's mess them up. You say them really loud so I can hear them all the way over here in Canton. It's the first one. S-H-E. I love you. All right, now today we are reading a story that is a variation, meaning it's an old-time story that's told a little bit different way. And it's about Little Red Riding Hood. Now, Little Red Riding Hood is a story that your grandma's read. And it's about a girl who is wearing a hoodie, well, kind of a cape with a red hood. So they call her Little Red Riding Hood because she's kind of little. And she's taking a basket of goodies, cookies and bagels and all sorts of good stuff to her grandmother, who lives in a house in the forest. And as she's walking along, there is a wolf. So in a lot of old-time stories, a wolf is the bad guy. So there's a wolf who stops her and says, "Where are you going?" And she says, "I'm going to my grandmother's house." So the wolf takes off, runs ahead of her, goes to the grandmother's house, locks the grandma in the closet, and he puts on the grandma's nightgown, and he lies down in her bed. So when Little Red Riding Hood comes, she knocks on the door, he pretends he's grandma, says, "Come on in." She goes in and she looks at the wolf and she says, "Grandma, what big ears you have." And the wolf says, "The better to hear you with, my dear." "Grandma, what big eyes you have." the better to see you with, my dear. Oh, what big teeth you have. Ah. Well, then the wolf jumps out and tries to grab Little Red Riding Hood, and she screams so loud that some hunters that are outside nearby the house or cabin come running in and save her and the grandma from the big bad wolf. So that's like the original Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood story. But today's story is Ninja Red Riding Hood. Oh, the story is written by, oops, there's the cover thing over there. I can't see her first name. Corey Rosen Schwartz and Dan Santat did the pictures. So this Little Red Riding Hood is not going to be afraid of that wolf because she's a ninja. All right. So, all right. There's a picture of a wolf. He doesn't look like he's in good shape. Let me read what it says here. Once upon a ninja-filled time, a wolf couldn't catch any prey. He kept getting licked by the dinner he picked, and he was growing more ticked by the day. Not having any luck finding anything to eat. Oh, look what happens when he tries to find things to eat. The rabbit kicks him. Oh, and the turtle grabs him by the foot. And what's it at the bottom? Is that a cricket? It fights him off too. Everybody seems to be able to fight this wolf. All right. Here's the next picture. Oh, and the wolf sees the pig. So let's see what it says. All right, so we're talking about the wolf. Now he says, his belly was aching for bacon. I'm wasting away, he complained. To huff and to puff was no longer enough. So look at, I think he's going to take a karate class. So he snuck into school to be trained. So the wolf is going to try to be trained so he can fight. Ooh. And then he's learning how to do karate. He practices katas for hours and mastered the whirlwind and wheel. He jackknifed and flipped and last felt equipped. So he practiced doing all those turns and kicks. There he is. He's earned a black belt. So, says he practiced his katas for hours, mastered it whirlwind and wheeled. He jackknifed and flipped, and at last he felt equipped to once again catch a good meal. So, oh, there's Little Red Riding Hood. Now, what's going to happen now when he meets Little Red Riding Hood in the forest? Oh, let me read it. Drooling with anticipation, he set off in search of some meat. While deep in the woods, he met Riding Hood. I'm bringing Grandma a treat, she says. The wolf licked his chops when he saw her and hastily thought of a plan. There are blossoms that way you can pick a bouquet to give your little old gran. So he's pointing her over to where there are flowers. He says, why don't you go pick some flowers for your grandma? Let's see. I think he's going to dress up like Grandma. Let's see what this says. Then the wolf took a shortcut to Grandma's, where he thought that he'd find her in bed. But Granny was gone, so he put on a robe and waited for Red. So Granny wasn't at the house, So look at that. He put on lipstick and he dressed up in her robe so that he might fool Red Riding Hood into thinking he was her grandma. Okay, so here comes Red Riding Hood to the door. She looks a little afraid to walk in. Let's see what it says. Soon after, he heard someone knocking. He called out, "My dear, come on in. Oh, don't you look good in your lovely red hood, but a shame that you've gotten so thin." Here he is. Think he's gonna trick Red Riding Hood? Maybe not. Let's see. Little Red took a look at her granny and said, "What on earth did you do? I could swear that your eyes have completely changed size. Hey, Gran, are you sure that's you?" "Oh, of course it's me, my sweet darling. The better to see you, my dear. And your ears are so long. Something really seems wrong." "Oh, my girl, the better to hear you." Look at her face. She said, yeah, that doesn't look like my grandma's ears. Let's see if that wolf is able to trick her. And those biceps, my gosh, they look massive. And your triceps and delts are immense. The better for hugging, her grandmother said. "Dear Red, that's just plain common sense. And those teeth, they look so much sharper." "Well, yes, all the better to chew." Ooh. Those are some nasty looking teeth. He jumped out of bed to gobble up Red. But, uh-oh, look at that. She's not afraid of that wolf. She'd gone to ninja school too. Looks like there's going to be a fight. She grappled and sideswiped and twisted and escaped from his clutches unscathed. And she attempted a lock, but he managed to block. They appeared to be evenly matched. So they were fighting, but it wasn't clear which one was going to win. Oh boy, what's going to happen next? Read this page. Just then they both heard some chopping. A woodsman, Red thought, but instead it was Gran. Aha. She said, oh, it was Gran. She had just come in from Tai Chi. "Don't you dare harm a hair on her head," said Gran. And look at this. Gran's here to fight with the Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf took a swing at that instant, but Red deftly dodged the attack. She got a good grip, threw him over her hip, and the wolf wound up flat on his back. So she knocked the bad guy over. "I'll skedaddle," the wolf said in anguish, as he struggled back on his feet. "Just a second, you beast. You will not be released until you promise to give up red meat." Though his tummy still rumbled with hunger, the wolf faced his rival and vowed, Ninja Red, you have won. My meat days are done. Oh, Red Chan, said Gran. I'm so proud. Then Red and the wolf bowed politely, and Gran gave him half her peach pie. The wolf was a mess. He'd had way too much stress. He said, maybe I'll give yogurt a try. So when the wolf said, okay, I am not going to try to eat the Little Red Riding Hood, Gran said, well, now you can have some pie. But the wolf was very tired and stressed. So he is going to try to do some yoga. The wolf he enrolled at the Downward Dog Center, where his tension began to decrease. He studied with yogas and said no to meat hoagies and felt at least truly at peace. Well, that was a funny story because the little girl and Granny talked about attacking people and being at peace and being nice to people so that he wouldn't be the bad guy anymore. All right, so that's our story for today. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Love you. Mwah. Bye-bye.